Welcome to Flawless Shoe Reviews. In this video I'm going to talk you through the best shoes for Hallux Rigidus. It's an update on our old video as those shoes are no longer available for purchase. So I've selected 6 shoes this time rather than 3 to increase your options. I'm also going to touch a little bit on what Hallux Rigidus is, how shoes influence that pain depending on their specifications. So even if you don't like the 6 shoes that I recommend, you have a better idea of what type of shoe might work best to ease Hallux Rigidus pain. I'm James, I'm a foot and ankle specialist and I provide advice to patients for over 10 years on footwear and foot pain. So I'm going to start with the Asics Glideride Max first. So in our previous video we recommended the Glideride 3, which is no longer available, and this is the updated version. It is slightly different, so it has the same 5mm drop but it has different cushioning underneath, so you got a mixture of FF Blast Plus and FF Blast Max. So it's quite a soft shoe, not as firm as what we got in the Glideride 3. It has a plate running through it but not as stiff as what we felt in the Glideride 3 as a result of having that extra padding, and it doesn't have as much toe spring, so it doesn't elevate upwards as much as what we got in the Glideride 3. Those of you who found the Glideride 3 a little bit uncomfortable, you may enjoy this a little bit more because toe spring, where it holds your toes in slight extension inside the shoe, can be a little bit uncomfortable for those of you with more severe Hallux Rigidus pain. So having less toe spring, a little bit more cushioning, but still having a plate to provide stiffness under the shoe may be beneficial for those of you with mild to moderate pain from Hallux Rigidus. Then sticking with Asics, we've got the brand new Asics Gel Nimbus 23. So this is a classic stable neutral shoe. They've increased the stack height in the shoe. They've still got the FF Blast cushioning. So it's a relatively firm cushioning and quite responsive for a max cushion shoe. It's also got a really stiff toe box, so it facilitates hardly any extension through the big toe joint. It has a nice 4-foot rocker, and 4-foot rockers are really important when you've got Hallux Rigidus because it facilitates the push-off phase of the gait cycle without requiring excess bend from your big toe joint. It does have a couple of degrees of toe spring. It comes in a wide and an extra wide version as well, so plenty of fit options in there if you've got a broader foot. Then when we look towards more of a max cushion, max stability shoe, we've got the Hoka Gaviota 5. Now the Gaviota 5 has the best toe box of all the Hoka shoes in terms of width. So the normal fit is super wide and it comes in a wide version as well. So those of you with a broader forefoot will enjoy it. It's got some stability elements with the H frame which runs underneath the midsole on both sides of the shoe and across the middle. And that provides really good torsional stability and it's really hard to bend the shoe. So it focuses on keeping you centered in the shoe throughout the gait cycle, really hard to bend, not too much toe spring and plenty of space in the toe box. So really comfortable, really great option for standing all day, walking for long periods of time, easy runs, longer runs, not as good for up-tempo or faster work. Then another max cushion option is the Brooks Glycerin Max. As you can see, it's got a huge amount of stack underneath the shoe. So it has 45mm in the rear foot, 39 in the forefoot, giving you a 6mm drop across the shoe. It's got a relatively broad forefoot in the normal version, but unfortunately it doesn't come in a wide version. So those of you with a broader foot may not enjoy this. If you don't have a broader foot, this is an excellent option because of its low drop, has minimal to no toe spring, and has one of the most aggressive forefoot rockers on the market. So you can see you've got minimal rocker here, so it stays nice and flat, and then suddenly towards the forefoot it really curves upward, and that really facilitates a nice push off phase with a minimal extension through your big toe. So those of you with a normal width foot and happy to have a max stack shoe, this can really offload the big toe joint and has the potential to really reduce pain. When you think about activities, excellent shoe for everyday wear. In terms of max stack for running, yes, it can be used for those longer distance recovery runs, but also has a bit more spring to it. So it can be used for some early stage up-tempo work due to the new DNA tuned nitrogen infused cushioning, which is a really excellent addition by Brooks. Then we can look at another mild to moderate stability shoe, so not as stable as what we get in the Hoka, a little bit more responsive, and that's the Saucony Guide 17. Now, to be fair to Saucony, most of their shoes are excellent in terms of not having much toe spring and having a nice 4-foot rocker. We chose the Guide 1 as an alternative to give you more of a mild to moderate rather than a max stability shoe, but also it's got plenty of width in the toe box and it's got quite a lot of volume in the toe box. So there's a lot of space on top inside the shoe. So those of you who don't enjoy having material rubbing off the top of their toe, you might enjoy having a higher volume toe box, and it comes in a wide version as well. Nice 4-foot rocker, minimal toe spring, relatively responsive in terms of feedback when you're running. So you can use it for some early up-tempo work. Really comfortable, excellent fit overall. In terms of more performance-based shoes, some of the Saucony shoes, like the Saucony Speed, are excellent options if you want a faster shoe and you've got Hallux Rigidus pain. Then finally, a completely different type of shoe that I wanted to share with you, which is the Altra Via Olympus 2. So this differs from all the other 5 shoes in terms of having a zero drop, so no difference from the back to the front of the shoe. Having a zero drop helps to create an even distribution of pressure across the foot, especially when you're just standing. This has an anatomical toe box, so it has the widest toe box of all 6 shoes. So it's got loads of space in there, has a minimal toe spring, and it's really stiff in the forefoot. So an excellent option to help offload the big toe joint. It doesn't have as aggressive of a forefoot rocker as some of the other shoes, so that's something to keep note of if you really don't enjoy that extension, but it should be accommodated by the fact that it's really hard to extend the shoe. A caveat to this is if you haven't worn a zero drop shoe, it can place excess pressure on your Achilles tendon, on your calf muscle. So it's something to be aware of. If you're used to wearing a really high stack or high drop shoe, we'd recommend dropping down slowly rather than going from something like a 12mm drop down to a zero drop. Otherwise, if you're used to low drop shoes and you want something to offload the big toe, the Altra Via Olympus is an excellent option. We've got all the shoes linked in the description below if you're looking to pick them up. It helps fund our channel if you buy through the links without affecting the price that you pay. If not, just like and share and subscribe in the video also makes a huge difference. If you've got any questions, I'll try and get back to you. I can't give you specific advice on your individual injury without an assessment, but I can give broad advice on shoes and my thoughts on how they might affect how you move. Thank you very much for watching and look forward to hearing from you soon.